Well, a very good morning to you, and I hope we're all fine. It's Boxing Day, the 26th of December. We're going to take a look at the weather forecast for the UK for today and tomorrow, the 27th. There is another potential snow event in places towards the north of the UK, so stay tuned. Winter isn't done for the north of the UK, even though it's been very, very mild down here in the south. So let's move it all along. Well, outside for most parts of the UK, if we just take a little look around the cameras, it's a fine morning. So this is the scene at Malden in Essex. The flats looking beautiful at sunrise just about half an hour ago. If we skip over towards Wales, it's dry over there as well. A little bit more cloud in the sky. There is some blue sky around. So yeah, a nice start over there in Wales. We move up to George Square in Glasgow. The Christmas lights looking resplendent this morning. A little bit chillier up there to the north, and we'll have a little look at those temperatures. But yeah, it is fine. And if we skip over towards Ireland, towards Ballyjames Duff Municipal District, once again, a bit like Essex, blue skies, the yachts looking lovely in the early morning light. So yeah, a nice start today. It is cold, and some places did get a white Christmas. I know that we were talking about a weather front across Scotland that would move southwards through the day yesterday. It did produce some snow, mainly over the higher routes, but this is the scene in Aberdeenshire this morning at a place called Tarland. Forgive me for not pronouncing that right, but yes, that is the scene. Some lovely wintry scenes up there in parts of Scotland this morning. So it is a rather colder start this morning. If we take a look at the facts chart, there's the UK in the middle. We've got a run of northwesterly breezes coming down across the UK. A bit colder, as I said. That mild air now has been pushed down in towards Central Europe. There are one or two little trophy lines coming down in the flow, but it is a mainly dry pitch. We'll have a little look at the radar in a moment. Right, so that's the scene at the moment, but trouble will be looming later on today in the form of a weather front. So yes, there is a little bit of respite today in the weather. A fine day for most of us who want to get out and walk off that turkey. But yes, later on today, this is the scene at midnight. A front will be pushing into the southwest of the UK, and that will be marching northwards rather quickly tomorrow. This will be the scene at midday tomorrow. Active weather fronts, quite a deep area of low pressure, will be pushing up across the country. Now, it does bump into colder air that's sitting across Scotland, and we know what happens there. That is the recipe for snow. So back to the here and now. Just a quick look at the radar. Yeah, just a few showers around in the north of Scotland and running down the west coast. I've noticed one or two in the Irish Sea just coming into sort of parts of North Wales. But for most places, it is a dry, fine, and it's a sunny morning. And today is going to be a pretty good day. Right, temperatures have dropped somewhat. It's still mild down in the far south, though. These are the current top of the hots, 10.2 at the Isle of Portland, 10.1 in Jersey, and then really most of southern England are sitting somewhere around about 8 or 9 degrees. The colder air is further north. If we take a look at the chills on the hills, you've got minus 5.8 at the Cairngorm summit, Unnock Moor minus 4.7, Cairnwell minus 4.3. These are higher level stations, as you would expect, but many places, even lowland stations in Scotland, are a degree or so above freezing in the morning. This morning, I noticed 1 degree at both Glasgow Airport and Edinburgh Airport. So yes, colder air has moved back in. Right, just having a quick look at the temperatures around the UK at the moment. So it's picked up nicely. We'll start down in the south, as we've mentioned. Still quite mild down here, sort of sixes to eights. But as we move northwards, those temperatures do start to fall. Well, I notice it's quite chilly over there in Ireland this morning. But yeah, move forward. We start to get towards zero in some of these, towards the sort of the southern uplands, towards the North Pennines. But yes, the colder air once again is really reserved for Scotland this morning. Not sub-zero, a degree or so above zero. So for you guys, it's nothing too extreme at all. But yes, just to go to show the contrasts are in evidence across the UK again this morning. Right, the jet stream picks things up quite nicely. It's firing away across the UK. Notice though, it's a little bit further south than it has been, and this is why you can see the north of Scotland, just to the north of the jet, is in that cooler air. So this is where we're going to start bringing in the potential when this weather front comes in tomorrow of obviously the rain pushing into the colder air, bringing in that snow risk. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the chart, and then we will just take a look at the snow risk maps, just to sort of see if we can verify that. So we'll move you over there. Thank you very much. And we'll start off with the scene this morning. This is the chart from the Icon. This was run at 00 hours. And if we just take this forward to, where are we? 9 o'clock in the morning. There we go. Just look at the timestamp at the top. What we'll do, we'll push that forward 1 hour at a time. So this shows like a weak ridge across the UK this morning. Northwesterly breezes and those showers just up towards the northeast, or should we say the northwest of Scotland. Right, we run this sequence through and see how this all starts to move along. So by midday, we see that there is a weather front just starting to come into the far southwest of the UK. So a sunny morning across the south of the UK will give way to increasing cloud. For most parts of the UK, though, it is a dry day, it is a fine day, and it is a sunny day. As I've mentioned, a great day to get out for a walk. By 8 o'clock tonight, notice the area of low pressure just starting to wind itself up towards the west of Ireland, pushing its weather front northward. So this will be the scene at midnight. The front will be pushing in a lot of heavy rain across Ireland by that stage, with rain now into Wales and many parts of central and southern England. We push this forward 6 hours. So tomorrow morning when we wake up, well, will some of us be awake at 5 or 6 in the morning? Or probably will, but by then the front has pushed further eastwards. And notice the purples appearing. Yep, that is sleet and snow. So that will be bumping into that cold air that is in place across parts of northern Britain. So yes, potentially quite a bit of a snow event across those higher routes. We'll come on to the snow risk in just a moment. Further south across England and Wales, it remains mild as it has done all Christmas. Pushes forward through to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So by then, the heaviest of the most persistent of the rain and snow will be sitting across Scotland towards the northeast of England, and there will be a cold weather front then pushing into the west of Wales. Pushes forward through to midday tomorrow. Again, the rain sitting over the many parts of the Scottish mainland with some quite heavy snow across those higher hills. So yeah, I think quite a dumping for some high routes tomorrow across Scotland. But notice around the periphery, around the edges, around the coastlines, that will be falling as rain. Throughout the course of the day, that weather front pushes south across England, so a bit of a squally rain band pushing through there, and that rain, sleet and snow eventually pushes out the way from the northeast of Scotland by the end of the day. So we finish tomorrow all a little bit somewhat milder, but windy. Look at that. Look at those isobars towards the south of Ireland, with some blustery showers, and then that's how we finish tomorrow. So yeah, a band of rain with some sleet and snow pushing northwards throughout the course of the day tomorrow. We'll have a little look at the snow risk. I think this picks it all up quite nicely. So we will start off. We'll start off today. So yeah, suffice to say, it's a fine day today. No risk of snow today. Apart from perhaps the highest routes of Caithness up there in the north of Scotland. It's as we push into tomorrow. So this is at 3 in the morning. This is at 6 in the morning. So notice how there's a higher risk of that snow being picked up across the higher ground. Now this 300 is the level, is the snow level. So as we've mentioned, it is a higher ground event, but it will be heavy and it will be fairly persistent. So I think, yeah, as we've mentioned, quite a dumping for some areas of Scotland on the higher ground, but later on in the day, that risk pushes north and then eventually clears away. Right, so we'll just go through the symbols. I know a lot of you do like this, so yeah, I will just pick this up quite nicely. And then before we bring it all to a close, we'll have a little look at the ensembles to see if we're going to get any cold spells in the new year, any sort of hazards that we need to be aware of. But yeah, let's start off with today. 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. So a dry day today, sunny skies, temperatures doing fairly well. Rather cloudy later on in the day across England with that rain arriving in the southwest overnight. Then we just push into tomorrow. There we go. So yeah, by sort of midnight, that rain will be pushing into the southwest, pushes northwards across the UK. This is at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, bumps into the cold air over Scotland, gives them a spell of snow, perhaps a little bit of the higher ground further sort of south for a time, before eventually that pushes out the way later on in the day with blustery showers, winds back into the west, and temperatures slowly climbing, but perhaps still rather cold across Scotland. Right, before we bring it all to a close, we'll have a quick look at the ensembles. So, yeah, we look towards the -5 line and below for trends for cold spells that are looming. And I think, yeah, there seems to be a little bit of clustering starting to appear from the 3rd of January onwards. So it looks like there is the potential for some colder air to start picking up in the early part of the new year. And if we just have a little look at the snow spikes, just for fun, for London, we'll see that, yep, there are a few snow spikes appearing. So perhaps we've got something to focus on again. Let's head now towards Manchester to see how things are looking up there in the northwest of England for you guys. So again, quite a bit of uncertainty. There's a lot of spread on those ensembles, both the operational and the control run this morning, going cold. So, again, suggestions that things could start to turn colder from around about the 3rd of January onwards. Have a little look at your snow depths. And once again, yeah, the potential is there, albeit a very low risk at the moment. And if we just go and close this off at Inverness, it's always been pretty cold there, as we've seen. It's quite, at the moment, we're getting transitory sort of rain, sleet, and snow events. Throughout the course of the next few days, things do turn milder from the north, for the north. But then, yeah, as we move into the new year, once again, a fair old spread on those ensembles. Not great confidence, but the control and the operational are rather cold, suggesting that there is the chance of a cold spell up there in the north in the new year in Scotland. And if we run the snow depths, well, yes, there is the chance of snow quite regularly on different occasions, pretty much from now right through until the new year, as you would expect for Inverness in Scotland in January. So anyway, I'm going to bring it all to a close now. I hope you've all found the forecast useful. Enjoy today. It's going to be a nice, fine, sunny day. As we mentioned, a bit of a horror show tomorrow, quite a lot of rain pushing northwards with that snow event for the Scottish hills and mountains. I'll be back in a couple of days, but in the meantime, look after yourselves. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now.